Hello all, welcome to the topic on the difference between Python and JS. I will give you a promise. At the end, you will at least understand the basics to judge which is better for you. Okay, so let's go right into the topic. So, what is Python and what is JS? Okay, so Python, if you take it, is a high level programming language because it abstracts out all the complexity of low level, and you actually write a you are concerned only about the high level programming. Okay, in JS also similar, it is high level and it is more lightweight. I would say more lightweight because it uses more of less CPU and less memory and all those. The why it is the case with JS is, even if you see the history of JavaScript, it was developed as a lightweight just for the browsers. Okay, because if you look in the history, they developed they wanted a lightweight for the browser. Even though Java and other language existed, they wanted something very lightweight. That's why they JS was created. That's why it is said to be more lightweight. Okay, if you see, and it is more interpreted. Okay, now let's go to the next difference. Can Python be downloaded? Okay, yes, it can be downloaded. Whatever version you want, Python 2 or Python 3, can be downloaded from Python JS. Python, right? In case of JS, can it be downloaded? No, it cannot be downloaded because JS is already present in the browsers of the client. Okay, because it is more of a front end. It is the only front end language because your browsers only understand JavaScript. Okay, so since any browser you take, JS comes along with it. So you never download it. But you can download nodejs, which is just an environment for running JS in the backend. So for nodejs you download, but not JS we never download. Okay, just understand that. So just for having understanding, if you look in my browser, I am just in a page. If you inspect, you can see. Okay, just go down here, the console. Okay, if you go to the console, you can see already JavaScript is already present for you, right? Maybe I will do it inspect one more time. Sorry for that. Okay. Now, if I do any command, console.log, hello, you can very well see JavaScript is already there. Okay, you can see the, maybe I did it wrongly. Sorry. Okay, you can see the hello printed. So JavaScript is already there in any browser. You never need to download that. Okay. And coming to our next difference, Python, if you take it, is only for the backend. Okay, you can do it only for the backend. JavaScript, if you take, it is the only language which is known to the browser. Okay, you can't use Java anything on the browser. Okay, you can use only JavaScript because this language was created just for the browser. It is the only language supported by the browser. Okay, that gives it a great edge over the others. Okay, and can this be used in the backend? Yes, you can use the nodejs, which was environment for running JavaScript in the backend, which is Node.js. So you can download Node.js and use it. So the thing with JavaScript is, if you know JavaScript, right, you can write both front end and back end. That's a great plus point in case of JavaScript. Okay. Node.js, if you take, it is just a JavaScript engine created for Chrome, the V8 engine, which was moved to the server end, which was moved inside the server end inside a C++ environment. So that's what Node.js is. Now coming to our next difference, how Python was written. Python, the default implementation C Python was written in C, and there are other variants like IronPython, which was written in .NET, and other variants as well. Okay. But in case of JS, what language it is written with? Can you determine a language in which JavaScript was written? No, because the JavaScript is executed by the JavaScript engine, which comes with all the browsers. So all the browsers have their own JavaScript engine. So they write it in their own way, in their own language. If you take V8, Chrome's V8 engine was written in C++, and Firefox Spider Monkey was written in C and C++. Okay, and maybe Blink, I think Safari's Blink was written in some other language. So likewise, so we cannot determine which language JS, because it changes with each browsers. Okay, this is most important point. Okay, so now let's come to our next difference. In Python, whether it is interpreted or compiled, it is actually, if you run any Python, right, you will see that PYC file generated. So it gets compiled and then gets interpreted by the Python PVM, Python Virtual Manager. It gets then interpreted. But in case of JS, it is interpreted, completely interpreted. Okay, that's why they call JS more lightweight. Okay. So next difference in case of Python, it is said to be dynamically typed language. So you need not say what is a data type, a variable it is. It will be automatically dynamically calculated by Python, because if you take in case of Java, you have to say string a equal to abc. Okay, you have to specify to the compiler that this is a string. This variable belongs to a data type string. But in case of Python, you need not say that. You just say a equal to abc. Okay, within quotes. So the Python will automatically understand it is a string. So it is dynamically typed. Okay. In case of JS, it is also similar. Okay. In case of Python, you just say a equal to a string. In case of JS, you also need to say var abc equal to a string. So you also need to include the variable to say it is a variable. Okay. So or variable. So here also, in case of JS also, it is automatically uh, understood by JavaScript based on what you put inside the variable, the data type. Okay. And coming to our next great difference, what is an object in case of Python? Object in Python is just an instance of class. If you know Java, it is just like, okay, maybe if you have seen, just a class. Okay. And when you now P1 is an instance of a class. Okay. But in case of JS, it's a little more interesting. We don't have any classes in JavaScript. Okay. In case of JavaScript, it is always about objects. The object is just a key value pair. Okay. If you have an example, so if we want to create an object, right, I just put var obj equal to this one. So now this is an object. Okay. If you want to print it, console.log obj. We'll say type of obj. So it says it is an object, correct? It says it is a type. So just a key value pair, a empty key value pair is said to be an object in JavaScript. Okay. What you can get very close to class in JavaScript is the constructor function. Okay. I will show you that. So don't get confused. You may see all this in JavaScript, but this is a constructor function. Okay, it is a constructor function. Okay, and it is a function with where we have this which points to the key value pair, the object. Okay, so when you create a new ABC, you create an object, but it is not a class, it is a constructor function. You create an object which is a key value pair out of the function. Okay, this is what you can get close to a class in JavaScript. Okay, if you just print this. Okay, okay, let's run this. You will see. Okay, it is just a key value pair. Whatever, even you create an object out of a constructor function, it is just a key value pair. Okay, okay. Hope this is clear. Okay. If you want to understand more, you can see my other tutorials on objects in JavaScript. Okay. So now let's come to our next difference, functions. Functions are first class objects. Okay. Because first class object means functions are just objects. Whatever you can do with objects, you can do with functions as well. Okay. So you can actually assign an object to a variable, send the object as a parameter to another function, return that object from a function. So all this can be done with functions as well in Python. Okay. In case of JS, also the function is first class objects. It is just objects. Whatever you can do with objects, you can objects you can do with functions as well. Just I will show you a quick glance of how it looks for you if it makes sense. So this is how a function looks in Python, and you can assign a function to a object, a variable. Okay, it is just a variable. Okay. In case of JavaScript, the function looks like this. Okay. You can see we can send that function which is saved in this variable as a parameter to another function. You can return from the function object from another function. You can do anything, whatever you can do with objects. Okay. Now moving to our next difference, which is more important, what I feel. Python, it is by design is single threaded, but you can actually, it has the threading module through which you can make it to run concurrently, not parallelly, but you can make it run concurrently. But there are also ways to make it happen parallelly as well. Based on some design changes, you can make it run parallelly as well. But in case of JS, it is single threaded. Understand, it is single threaded. Okay, you have only a single thread for running your JS. Okay, so that's why in JS they emphasize that you should not block the thread. If you block the thread, the the customer will not be able to interact with the page. That's why if you would have seen in many cases in your website, it will be keep rotating. That's the case when the thread has been blocked. Okay, it has not been released, and so you have no thread for you to interact with the page. You are not able to press on any button on the screen in the page. Okay, this happens. So that's why in case of JS we speak about all the asynchronous. The asynchronous is more emphasized because we have to do everything asynchronously. That's why we do it via callback, promise, or observables. Okay, understand this. And then moving to our next difference, the inheritance part. The inheritance in Python, it is just classical, a class inheriting another class. If you see, I can show you an example. If you take in this case, right, this is how the instant inheritance works in Python. Okay, you have a person class inheriting from student class inheriting from person class. But in case of JavaScript, it gets a bit more interesting. In case of JavaScript, as I told you, right, there is nothing called classes. So you can't make class inheriting another class. So in case of JavaScript, it is prototypical inheritance. That is object inheriting another object. If you want to add something in the inheritance tree, you have to add it to the prototypical chain. Okay. If you want to add some properties to your parent, you have to add it so that the child inherits it. You have to add it to the prototype chain. Okay, this is how it works. You just, if I want to add get name to person, you have to add it to the inheritance tree, so that the what whenever you create an object uh, out of this constructor function, this object will have the get name to it. Okay. And the other big difference is in case of classical inheritance, right? Every time you create an object, a separate for each child, a separate parent is created. But in case of prototypical inheritance, every child shares the own parent. Okay, so this is what it is means by prototypical inheritance. Okay, hope this is clear. Okay. And at last, the last difference is Python is said to be object oriented language, like just like Java and all other languages, many other languages. In case of JavaScript, it is prototype based object oriented language, because we don't have class in JavaScript. It is said to be prototype based object oriented language. And some people call it even object based language. Okay, so these are the basic differences I have. Hope this gives you an idea. Thank you. Have a nice day.